And we're back with another video from a Republican view on politics. Oof, a lot going on out there, isn't it? Oh man, people are getting crazy. And they're getting worse every day with the bullshit. They just don't stop. I don't understand it, but hey, it seems to be working out for them somehow. And they really believe the crap that comes out of their own shit, you know? But what are you going to do, right? So now, let's talk a little bit about the cartel. Ooh. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So now we got a group of people that make a living from selling drugs, killing people, intimidating, and everything else, right? Taking shots at our aircraft, the U.S. aircraft. Oh, dude. And then while that's happening, and we recognize who these people are because we've known this forever, right? You got people and Americans already starting their crap, in defense of all crime, all criminals, killers, drug dealers, all kind of things, illegals, you name it, they're covering them, right? All the corrupt, all these people out here. I look at the mainstream media, even Fox too. Sometimes when people say things that are ridiculous too, you know what I mean? And, you got all these people talking about how dumb can politicians be for thinking this or people thinking that, this, that, and the other, and all that bullshit, right? But the truth is, mainstream media is the one that has pumped these people up to believe this, the insanity that they're in, the crap that they're doing, the things that they believe. All that stuff was brought on by the mainstream media and their brainwashing system, the owners, the globalists, right? There is no one else to blame for something like that. But anyway, let's get really quick back to these cartels. So now these guys take a shot at one of these aircraft, right? So now the president's ready to go. Now, I don't know what they're thinking, but obviously they think they can take on the military. I guess that's going to be left to be seen, isn't it? You know what I mean? And, submarines and all kind of shit, bringing all kind of bullshit drugs into this country and all kind of bullshit that's just causing mayhem. And worst of all, nothing but death in our country with these things, fentanyl and all this other shit, you know? So, good luck with that, cartel. And when these dudes start, it's going to end quicker than you started this shit. You should have never went there, man. That was your worst move. And I tell you, some people get bold and they want to trust the water. So you know what? You put your toe in there if you want to, and they did. Now you're going to get America say, oh, look what Trump did. He started a war with the cartel. Basically, translation of that will be like, oh, look what Trump did. He tried to put the law down on criminals. But that's not the way they're going to say it, right? Because they wouldn't fit the narrative, and that's just not the way things work nowadays with the wackos, right? So now, we still got people running around causing all kind of bullshit on a regular basis, same on, tearing up stores, still looting, still doing all this other shit, and then when the store leaves the neighborhood, corporate are a bunch of racist bastards. They left us. They just don't like black people. They don't like Spanish people. All that shit. I'm Spanish. I ain't running around breaking into people's shit and taking their shit, stealing shit that ain't mine, you know? So, I don't understand. Always trying to mix two things that have nothing to do with it. Just like the illegal situation. What part of illegal do people not understand? How stupid can you be? How dumb can you be? But whatever, one way. These people are, this is the best argument. Let's deal with the best argument they have. These people are here. These people have never committed a crime, and they've been here 30, 40 years, and all they've ever done was work. Why are you abusing of them? That's what they said. So let's find out. So, first of all, even though you've been here 30, 40 years, you broke into a country. You violated the laws of that country. No different that if I roll into any other country without papers, I'm going to get caught up. I'll maybe go to jail. If I get lucky, they'll just throw my ass out of there and throw me back home. But for some reason in America's the only one that's racist when they enforce their laws, but whatever. And then the other thing is, oh, well, I've been here 30 years, 40 years working this and that. So what does that mean? Oh, I broke into your country, but because I've been here so long, the hell with your laws. You just got to accept that. This coming from countries that people leave because they're lawless and their countries are in shambles because there's no law. The first thing they do is step into a foreign country and break the law right off the snap. But they're running from a place that's lawless. These are the things I want to understand, but I never will. But then again, like I said, at the end of the day, some people are here to take advantage of the country, of its benefits and anything else. Most people that are here, a lot of people, not most, but a lot of people that come here from other countries, they even hate this country, want nothing to do with it, talk shit about it all day. Every day that they live here, all they're doing is criticizing the country they're in. But, somewhere along the line, that seems to make sense to people. And this is what they do, I'm going to tell you something. Lately, we've been in battles, political battles, male, female, black and white, religious battles. We've been in all kind of shit for the last, 4 years, 4.5 years now. These last 6 months has been a little relief, but so you got all these people in here, right? The majority of them hate this country, and the worst part is they're here, they're telling you that they're going to stay, and they're pretty much telling you, screw your laws and everything else, we're going to do what the hell we want to do in your country. And then when you react to it, you're a racist, you're a white supremacist, you're no good. You know who America's second enemy is? Only in America, the liberal. The globalist is number one. Number two is the liberals. Most of these liberals, when you hear them talking, they make no sense whatsoever. They have no control of their emotions. They cannot have a conversation with you, converse with you in any way, shape, or form, unless you see it the way they want you to see it. The same people that say there's equality until you don't agree with them, and then equality goes right out the window. The same people that say that people should love each other and we're all love until you don't agree with them. Now you're hated. And it's all a bunch of bullshit. These are all just a bunch of retards that have no sense in what they're talking about. They have no idea what's going on in real world. None of that. None of that whatsoever. Right? So we as a country have to just keep in mind all the time that these people, the liberals, are not as important as they think they are, and there are a very small number of people in the United States. All we got to do is tune them out like we always do, and that's the end of that. That's how you kill that bullshit. You don't add any more gas to the fire, eventually that wood's going to burn out, and the fire's over. And that's how you deal with these dudes. There's no point in arguing with them online. There's no point in debating it. Like, you'll read articles and all of a sudden some jerk off comes out of nowhere talking about, yeah, Trump's a pedophile. Never heard that. Never seen that. And let me tell you something. In this world, and here, this day and age, with our government, believe me when I tell you that the politicians that are owned by the globalists and work for the globalists, not for the people, if they in any way, shape, or form had any kind of proof like that, when they came on with that barrage of fucking lawsuits, cases against President Trump, and you don't think they would have brought that out then? Shit. That would have been the first thing out the window right away. Here, we have the proof. This is it. That would have been their golden ticket. But they were never able to pull that off because that never existed. And if it did, like I said, that would have been out there. And the globalists would have made sure that that was out there. How do you think the globalists control all the other politicians? They really got real proof. Videos, all kind of things of pedophilia and everything. Anything under the sun that is dark, they've done it. And guess what? The reason they say and do the things that they do is simple. It's just basic knowledge. They're doing it because they got dirt on them. The globalists got dirt on those politicians, set them up, They got caught out Epstein's Islands or the bribes that they've taken out. So those people cannot back out of that situation they got themselves into. And that's how the globalists keep control of the corrupt in our government in Washington. They do that all over the world. And where they're most influenced and where the government has done foul shit and they got dirt on them, those are the countries that are falling right now. The ones that are falling fast. That means that at least 3/4 of that government was involved with the globalists and their bullshit. So they can't get out and they got to follow the rules that the globalists tell them to follow, which is world domination for them, right? So as you go along with these kind of things, you have to understand that when the globalists that control this and did not want Trump in office, that's the shadow government, the globalists. That's the real answer to that shadow bullshit, right? And there's secret societies and skulls and all that crap. Men, just like you and me. End of story. But believe me, if they had it, they would have threw it out there. There's a reason why they collect these kind of, these kind of things against people and the dirt that they collect and the bribes and the bullshit. They do all this because once you take that money or you take that pedophile move, buddy, they got you. They got you. So that's basically how America's running nowadays, and all you got to do is just watch and see. I'm listening again. We're back with the, oh man, Obama this, da, 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 da. Everybody, we're going to rest. We'll see about that. All I know is that the presidency is only 4 years long, right? And what I'm seeing is people are dragging their feet really slow. And even though they're telling us that they just want to build solid cases and all this other stuff, a lot of the crimes that these people did, they did them right on TV. You don't even need evidence. They did it right on TV, letting you know, right? Like the politicians that were calling for violence and riots and all that. We know all that. That was there right on their TV. They were telling, well, I don't understand. I don't get it, Many times, over and over and over, each and every one of them have done that. All those corrupts in the Democratic Party and some in the Republican Party too, because they're not all innocent. I, as a Republican, I'll tell you one thing. I want justice. And I don't give a damn if a Republican is corrupt and he's caught, put him in prison. Put him deep under the prison, if you ask me. I just don't want corruption in no party. I don't want it in our government, right? So we go on with it. Now, what happens with all this weather modification situations that we're in? Still today, I haven't heard anything. I haven't really seen them stop those things. I know that certain governors in certain states don't want that shit being sprayed in the sky anymore above their states. But we definitely need the federal government to shut that down. Bill Gates, still out there, doing what he does, man. Weather modification, flooding shit, destroying shit, killing people, destroying people's property. Still walking around like he's the man. Let me guess. We got to do an investigation for that. At some point, we're going to figure this out. We're going to see how far this corruption in Washington really is. It almost seems to me that the majority of it, at least 70% of that bad boy, is corrupt. And even though the other 30 would like to push forward with their ideas, the other 70 make it difficult. They get in the way. They're slowing things down. They just want this president to get out of office and be done so that they can go back to the old same shit, right? I don't know. Maybe I'm just making shit up. Maybe that's not what I see every day. Maybe that's not what, I should be thinking. Maybe I should just be thinking the program that they put out there. Nah, sorry. No, manipulation or being manipulated is not my way. That's not going to happen. You see things for what they are. You got all these wackos out here running around talking about wars, civil wars, people out here protecting criminals as if any of that was good for them, and it isn't. But I don't know if it's for some of them. As far as I'm concerned, I think with some liberals it's just that they're dumb as shit, and the other ones are just bought. They give them money to play around and parade around, throw rocks and bricks and run around with signs and billboards and all kind of bullshit against the system, against reality, against the world, real love, real life, you know? These people have a riot about anything. Anything. It doesn't matter where, oh, Nick just got run over by a car. Oh, let's protest right away. We got to get rid of all the cars. Well, have you seen anything happening with California? Have you seen anything on the news of them rebuilding all those homes and properties that burnt down? Me neither. So what's the plan? Is the plan, let me tear the United States up a piece and a section at a time? People are going to keep moving from state to state. Eventually, states are going to run out of room, ain't they? There you go. I seen a video the other day of a liberal parade and some dude dressed as a woman talking about that they're against the church that is either going to be put up or is there, but they were preaching something that they're against. Anything good, of course. And that the church has to move. This is how insane these people are. They can't live and let live. It has to be their way. That's never going to happen, but here we are, still on and on with it, with no brakes on it, just full force forward, non-stop. So these people are running around destroying their cities, their states, with their liberal mentalities, and then when the state is worthless and their cities are worthless, then they move to where people do respect the law, where people actually work and do the right thing, go there and start the same shit that caused their city and state to sink, and start running that same ragged bullshit line when they come to these other towns or other states, right? I don't know, man. I don't know. All I know is that it's getting old, real old, you know? And something's got to give. This has to stop at some point, all of it. You know what I mean? It all has to happen. And I know it's happening one step at a time, but I guess because we've been dealing with it for so many years, it's gotten so old that we're just tired of it. Let me tell you something else. The United States, we as people here in this country, right? We get jacked for everything. It ain't just pharmaceuticals. We get jacked for food. We get jacked for cars. We get jacked for everything. We have to pay extreme amounts of money, 2 and 3 times what garbage is worth, right? But nobody else. So what Trump is doing out there, fighting with these people, with these tariffs and all that, most people don't understand what that is and what's really happening with that or get a grip on it. But look at it this way. If you own a business, right? The business represents the United States, right? If you own a business and there's somebody that comes to your store and drops, I don't know, $1 million every 3 months, right? Then that customer, you're going to do your best as a business owner never to lose that client, right? So what you're going to do is you're going to produce the best of the product of whatever it is he buys for $1 million. You're going to provide the best service you can, right? And put your best forward to that customer. The customer is we the people. So we buy all kind of shit from around the world, from other countries, from their food, their toys, their clothing, their whatever, their drinks, their coffee, whatever it is, right? Now those countries over there produce these things with nickels and dimes of labor and slave labor and all kind of bullshit, right? That they do. And then they bring it here and want to sell it to you and me, you and I, as if it costs that much money to make, or the product itself, the materials. And none of that is true. For example, what's going to happen when all this gets straightened out? Will the rents go back down to the hell of a place where they gotta be? Or are we just going to keep going on acting like it's normal for people to pay $3,000 for a closet apartment in Manhattan? Or are we just going to continue going forward believing that a stupid fucking car costs 30 and 40,000, a pickup truck, 80, $100,000? So now a car costs as much as a house, pretty much? Who's going to stop that? And who's going to bring that back? The only people that are going to fix these problems here in America, rent, food, utilities, all the shit with utilities and all that, they keep going up and up and up, and there's nobody stopping them. The only ones that can stop that is us. And I've said it in my videos before, this is not about just one man as a president or a government. This is about you and I, we the people that live here, that buy all this stuff. You know what happens to a store if we don't go in there and buy anything? They're out of business. That's how much power we have as a people. So what we need to do is start complaining, pressuring governments and pressuring businesses by not going there until they bring those prices to what is right, like anywhere else, right? Our American companies, they sell us a chocolate bar for $3. They sell it overseas. The customers over there in those countries only pay $1. Why? Oh, let me guess. Because there's so much money in America, they don't care. They're idiots. They'll just pay whatever we ask. Let me ask you this. A convenience store, right? What's so convenient about rolling into a gas station and buying a bottle of water for 3 and 5 times what the bottle is worth? Not to mention that the bottle itself is only worth half of that before it enters into that little convenience store, right? So here you got a bottle of water that's maybe costed them 50 cents. The gas station owner pays $1 for it and then brings it to the gas station and sells it to you for $4 or $5. What is convenient about being ripped off? You tell me. So basically what I'm trying to tell you is that we the people have got to remember that the government has a certain function and all that, but they really can't fix everything. The only way we can get things done sometimes is by us pressuring them, making them do what we need done. It isn't about waiting around for someone else to do this for us or that for us. It's, for example, the last time they raised taxes at one point for 2%, there was a war in this country. Why? Because the people don't want to be robbed for their money. They let them know, I'm not having that. And I, as always, like I always say, I never talk about being violent. I'm against war, and I always will be. What I am expressing here to you is that there are options for us to correct these problems that don't even require war. Just a simple thing of us not buying their shit. A simple thing of us not going into those stores. And eventually, if they want to stay in business, they'll bring it down. And if they don't, there'll be other businesses that'll open that will give you the same thing, the same product, for 3/4 less than what we as a nation are being robbed on a regular basis for everything. Everything. We have to take the loss for everything. If a company in America loses money around the world, they jack up the prices here in the United States just to get their money back. And we're nothing but victims to these people. And the worst part is we let them. And the reason we let them is because we're not united, because we allow too much dumb shit to get in the way. But these things are real. These things that I'm telling you now, these are the real problems that we have. This is why most people right now, including mostly liberals, I can't afford a house, I can't buy a house. Of course not, because the first thing is they rose inflation on us so high for no reason, for the same shit, right? And we let them. That's why. Why can't you buy a house? Because a house that costs $100,000 They just, fuck it, make it 400,000. Just like that. And what are we doing about it? Talking on the internet about it, making videos. But we're not talking to each other on the street every day and uniting, are we? See, that's a big problem. Back in the day when we had trouble with the government, most men and women were constantly talking about that subject. And everybody knew about the problem, and everybody was pissed about the situation. And things would change. But because nowadays we've grown into a society that we don't talk to nobody, we don't even look at them or say hi to them or none of that, because that's what the globalist thing was, conquer and divide. We can't communicate. So now all of a sudden people like from my generation X and all that, what we're going to do with that? Obviously, if the internet would have changed everything, it would have happened. But it doesn't work that way. We have to realize that we, as a nation, if we want to keep our nation, if we want to stay free, if we want things to be the price that it should be, we have to do that. But if you're sitting around waiting for the government to do this, absolutely not. It doesn't matter what government gets in there. Because they know that we're relying on them to do it. Look, we did that for the last, 25, 30 years, and look where we're at. Because we did that. Because we let them do whatever they wanted, and look where they put us, and the situations that they put us in. They became massively corrupted. They are stealing our tax money on a regular basis. They're telling you that there's no funds to repair our schools, but there is hundreds of millions for wars that ain't even our problem. Here's the best part. It's our fucking money. It ain't even theirs. Federal government, the federal government's going to pay for federal government. The federal government can't pay for shit. The federal government ain't got no fucking money. That's our money. You people really need to, I'm telling you, there has to be some kind of a wake up, a little deeper wake up call than just something about an election. This is very deep what's happening in our country. And we need to start turning this thing backwards, not allow them to keep going forward. For example, if we know that the skies, right, are being contaminated, but Bill Gates is still doing it and no one's doing nothing about it, what does that tell you? That the government isn't going to do shit. So now we have to rise up and tell this prick that he needs to stop this shit. Just stop it. And force the courts to convict this prick from continuing on with these diseases and vaccines and everything else. How do you think this is going to ever happen? It doesn't happen, it hasn't happened, and it won't happen until we the people are involved. There's no other way. And again, it's not about violence. It's about us uniting as a nation. Never mind the bullshit. Don't look to the left, don't look to the right. Those people have no clue. But we that do know what's at risk. And we know that these dudes are trying to control the world. And we know they have a new world order agenda. And if you want to be a slave to these pricks, then you just sit there and let it happen. But if you want America to be what it's always been, then we will have to act the same way we were before to maintain that kind of status in America. Right? Anyway, all I know is we need to wake up with this part of it. You know? And a lot of people, I look at little things like, oh, they're never going to arrest Obama. Obama is protected. Obama's... No. Treason is not something that you're just going to pardon, and treason is not. Just let it slide by. Absolutely not. I hear all these people talking about that. Oh, they need to fire that congressman. They just need to get rid of him, and he shouldn't be in politics no more. I want that son of a bitch brought up on all the charges of all his corruption, his treason, and everything else, brought up and prosecuted. You don't just let that go. Because if you let them go, that means you might as well let everybody else go that commits crime. That's it. The two-tier justice, That's one of the most deadliest situations going on in Washington right now. And it's proof that it's there because all these killers are still out there, still doing what the fuck they do. Fauci, still running around. The people that released the bioweapon, still running around. Huh? The people, the vaccine and the damage that is done by Big Pharma. The babies that are being injected with metals in their bloodstream. Doctors making videos saying they can't even do this anymore. This is crazy. Real doctors telling you the truth. But because 97% of the scientists and doctors that are in the pocket of the globalists and Big Pharma say that it isn't true, you're supposed to believe that. Yeah. That's how far this shit has gotten, all the way into our medical. The corruption has followed all that way. Food, medical, utilities. It's exactly what a big time group of killers and assassins, which are the globalists, right? It's exactly what they need to control. Water, utilities, food, and medical. And once they got control of that, while you're running around talking about no justice, no peace, and you're running around talking about all the phobias and all that bullshit, when these assholes control that, they don't give a fuck who you are. You're going to eat what they say you're going to eat, how much you're going to eat, and then you're going to be introduced to a communism of hell. Oh, that could never happen in America. But son of a bitch is on its process. We're looking at it every fucking day. When did you ever see America have a tragedy, something break down or burn down, and we don't build it back? Hawaii, left that way. A lot of the in that area of North Carolina and all that, if it weren't for Trump, they were going to leave that way. Palisades or whatever in California, burnt down. Do you see anything happening there? No. Do you see people building there? No. How many more places are they looking to destroy and keep like that? Did you ever see that happen before in America? No. You know why? Because then it wasn't the time yet. But now that the globalists are making the move because their punk-ass devil God is running out of time, they're on the move for it. You think those 15-minute city things they talk about is something that they're not planning to do? Oh, they're pushing it. So then when I see the government, oh, we got a new government, this is the shit, this is that, they're really good, we got a good presidency, we got all this going on, but I see still Bill Gates out there still shooting up animals and shit with his disease fucking vaccines. And I still see Bill Gates out there spraying the skies. And I see the globalists still doing what they do. That tells me that the government ain't got shit under control, does it? But while you people are out here arguing on the internet and talking about racism and all this other bullshit, the world is being taken. Our country is being taken. And eventually, they're going to make you kneel. You're going to make you kneel. There's a lot of Americans like me that'll say, well, if it ever came down to it, we'll just fight. It never had to come to that. That's my point. My point is that this war, even though we as Americans are no joke, as a armed citizenry out here, citizens that are armed to the teeth, we shouldn't want to go there. And we shouldn't have to let it get to that point and waste something that we may need later on in life, when we could have just protested this the right way, not like these clowns running around burning shit. But we as a people are smart enough that we could have just let the government know we ain't doing that. We don't want to hear what the fuck you're talking about. This is what we want. That's it. Oh, it ain't that. It is that simple. It is that simple. And the government knows it, and the globalists know it. Why do you think the division is so vital? The division in America is vital because, divided, we can conquer these people. But what do I know, right? I'm just some guy spewing shit on a microphone. But I want to tell you one thing. Everything I just told you is common sense. You're looking at it. It doesn't need to be debated. You're looking at it. It's happening in front of your face. Globalists telling you that you're going to eat bugs and they're going to take all your shit and you're going to be happy. Bill Gates running around talking about what we need to do is cover the sun so it doesn't come in, even though we know sun is vital to the existence of our lives, our health, and every plant thing in the world. This is the guy that's trying to save the world from destruction, right? The one causing it. We're going to now start seeding the skies and cause massive floods and all that because that's beneficial to you and me, right? Tell me, as an American, how beneficial it really is for these vaccines, for bioweapons, for this whole weather modification, for blocking the sun, for poisoning our food, for putting metals in our soils, for destroying our food system, making fake foods, all that. Tell me how that is good for the environment or the most important thing for humanity around the world. Let's argue it. Go ahead. Start writing your messages and your bullshit. Tell me how any of that has proven to kill, has proven to destroy, all that, how that makes any sense to you. Any other argument that you have can't line up to this. I'll give you a perfect example. We run around all day worried about this, money, finances, this, our stuff. We're looking for this, this, and that. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, boom, you become critically ill. Now all of a sudden, everything else you thought mattered doesn't matter. It ain't even on your mind. You know why? Because now your health is in question and you're sick and you possibly can die. You know what takes over? That thought. Because health, without it, everything else is irrelevant. But we don't live our lives like that until something like that happens. Same thing with this. We've taken America, all right? I'll say we because you know what? At times, and as a youngster, I did a lot of dumb shit too, you know? But you learn and you mature. But it's the same thing with us now. We're so concerned about phobias and this and this and that we're not paying attention to what really matters. But then when you're enslaved and you lost all your rights and everything else, now you'll want to talk about it. Now you want to start a war, go to war for your freedom. We could have avoided that whole shit if we just united it now and did what the fuck we got to do. We wouldn't have to fucking fight. When we got to fight, we got to fight, and there's no choice, and we'll do what we got to do to protect our country, but that's when there's no choice. But there is a choice now. There's a lot of choice. You know? So, think about it. See what you're going to do. Make up your mind. But we have to do something. We either fold and say, go ahead and do whatever you want with us, or we stand up for our rights and tell our government what we want. Without violence. We don't need it. We are millions and billions. They are a little group this small. Small as my fingernail. We are many. They are few. Don't forget it. Remember it. So all I'm saying is today, and the point of today is, we need to wake up on this side and stop letting anything else get in our way and stop thinking about bullshit that don't matter. This that I'm telling you matters. We need to get this government to be a government of the people. If we do not achieve that, and the government is still spending money without talking to us, and the government doesn't give a shit what they do with our money, we can't win this battle, because that's a government of themselves. That's a government of the globalists, not a government of the people. Think about it. Anyway, God bless you guys. God bless America. Like and follow, subscribe, help a brother out. These kind of these videos like this don't ever get wind because I get censored in all kind of ways so that these kind of stuff. But when you speak truth, they don't want you in that algorithm of theirs. But hopefully you guys can help me out. Stay with me. And I'll see you on the next video. God bless.